And we are live on another edition of All In on High School Sports. Jennifer Valenti, Kurt Valenti, how are you?
Good. Cold. Good evening.
Cold, yeah. Everything's good, right? Everything's good. I'm still waiting. I haven't gotten any requests yet to interview for any NFL jobs. So that right now is slow. You know, hopefully Broncos get Quinn. Maybe they'll ask me for OC. Yeah.
There you go.
The only way I'm giving it up is we get someone who can guarantee Rodgers to Denver, then I'll put it away. But otherwise, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Doing well.
Okay, all right. We got some high school sports on the agenda tonight. What do we got going on?
Well, before we do that, I just want to give another shout out to our interns who are doing a fabulous job for us. Daniel, Olivia, and Rachel really appreciate. We had a great Zoom meeting with Rachel to talk about some stuff. She's always so helpful. And Daniel continues to be our social media manager. I want to share that you actually got some breaking news tonight.
I did.
Via the K&K Twitter page. You didn't have your phone. Otherwise, you would have had it sooner, I'm sure. But I was scrolling through Twitter, and K&K came up about the Joe Judge firing.
Yeah.
So, K&K Sports Show, Kenny and Kurt's Wednesday evening show, breaking news on Twitter. So that's all thanks to Daniel. And, of course, our third intern, Olivia, who does a great deal of behind-the-scenes stuff for us, like in every aspect of what we do. So thank you to those three.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout-out to, obviously, one of our co-hosts on the K&K, Mr. Eddie Siciliano. Because after last night's Alabama ending, I thought he was going to jump off a bridge. But now the Joe Judge thing saved him a little.
Kind of evened out.
We evened out. We can at least have him in somewhat of a professional manner tomorrow night. So, but otherwise, hope everyone's doing well.
And another shout out to Jersey Sporting News, who will continue our partnership with in 2022. Check out their online platform. Some of our content is there, and they cover all of the state in professional, college, and high school athletics. So
yes.
We're really looking to expand, and we're excited to be on board with them as well.
Okay.
So should we talk about tonight's agenda?
Yeah, what do we got going?
All right,
By the way, you did a great job of setting up the agenda tonight. Give you props.
Oh, thank you. I usually do.
What happened?
I said I usually do set up the agenda.
Well, I'm saying you did the reaching
it.
out, and
I did, which I, again, usually do, but thank you.
Yeah.
Tonight we will welcome St. Peter's boys basketball coach Alex Mirabel to the program to discuss his program and his season thus far. And we will also welcome Verona girls basketball head coach Brian Dorflaufer to the program, and he'll be joined by his two captains, senior Lauren Kobernick and junior Emily Baumgard. So, looking forward to seeing them as well.
Okay.
So, we don't have coach in the waiting room just yet, so.
So again,
guest.
we're starting to get now, again with schools coming back from the holidays, and I know I was talking to Carney, I was talking to Coach Caratora, how they weren't able to do anything. I'm not even sure if they're able to do anything even this week, but you have some schools in some situations where they are doing some activities, some aren't. So it's a little, up and down. Some teams you'll see, like especially basketball, they might have 7-8 games in, not 10 games. Some teams might only have 4. So, like you coached in the winter season. I mean, obviously you didn't go through what those girls are going through now, but if you did, what would you say? I got to come out, Mr. Beelan, best duo in the game, hoops. So Johnny Beelan's giving you a shout out. So if you were coaching here, what do you think, in your opinion, for you would be like, this would throw me off?
In this situation, just with, I mean, you want to say that, you just have to deal with adversity as it comes to you. And, as much as you say it's not going to throw you off, I mean, I guess it's going to throw you off, but you have to, it's a good learning experience for you to show your players that, listen, we're going to have all types of curveballs thrown at us. We can't predict what's going to happen, whether it's a COVID season, whether it's a regular season. You get injuries, you get illnesses, you have unexpected events that happen. So, you have to be the leader for your team that shows them that it doesn't throw you off. But then you're home, right? And you're trying to deal with the scheduling. And you know what? I'm going through Twitter and I'm seeing tons of coaches posting things like
for games, right?
Looking for a game on. Actually, Coach Mirabel's a great example. Looking for a game on, he posted it just a couple days ago, January 10th, which was yesterday, so I'd say that is probably the hardest thing, like when you lose a game last minute and you're trying to pick something up, just the uncertainty day to day. I mean, it's got to wear on you, but you got to keep that strong.
Mr. Beelan saying, let these kids play, man. Enough. And Dr. John Taylor, hey guys, a 5-year-old kicked me in the shin at tonight's girls basketball game because I asked her to sit down. I got dropped by a 5-year-old.
Oh my gosh, that is great.
Well, it'd be great though for Dr. John. In a couple of months, he's gonna have that big fat shiny ring on. So he just, shows the ring. Everyone's there. Dr. John's also saying, whole bench saw it and laughed. I feel like photos were taken. I'm gonna be a meme later. I feel it. I would love to get it if somebody could throw it on us.
Yeah, exactly.
We would definitely love to.
I'm gonna say ice, Dr. John, ice that shin. That's what I'm gonna say.
By the way, Dr. John, Jen sent me a text over the weekend. I was upstairs watching a game. She was downstairs, and she sends me a text with a LOL. And what is it? Yeah. There was a wing T clinic. So
he tagged us.
Was it that wing T clinic?
I'm pretty sure it was that wing T.
It was that
clinic,
wing T.
Someone else that we know posted like a thank you to the wing T clinic presenter. So yeah, I screenshotted that and.
Get it going.
A chuckle. So, Coach Mirabel is here ready, so I'm going to let him in. Okay,
sounds
that
good.
We good to go. And then once he's in, of course, and set, I will officially introduce him to our audience. So let's give him a second to get in and get adjusted. Hi, Coach. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
I think your camera might be off. Are you able to start the video?
Hold on.
Okay. All right, awesome. Hey, Coach, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Thank you for allowing me to join this podcast.
We're excited to have you. Let me officially introduce you to our audience. This is St. Peter's Prep head coach, Coach Alex Mirabel, at the helm since, if I'm not mistaken, Coach, 2014, 2015, right? Making this your 8th season at the helm. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And his team, with a storied history of basketball tradition, is off to a 4-1 start this program, which, of course, we're going to talk about much more. So welcome again to the program, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Coach, like Jen said, for taking time to come on the show. We really appreciate it, especially during these times where it's, hectic and you're probably changing schedules and stuff like that. But if you could just start real quick, if you could just go over like a brief overview of the storied program of St. Peter's basketball.
Well, I mean, obviously, as you know, it's a very special place. In order for you to attend, you gotta, have a good background academically. And it's a Jewish school, so religiously wise, like they take it very serious as far as mass and teaching religions and other religions in the world. So St. Peter's Prep is a special place in Jersey City. It's a huge base as far as alumni. They're all over the world. Everywhere you go, it's St. Peter's Prep alum, and it's historic because grandfathers, sons, so they kind of branch off that way. Many families attended, so it's a great place. Basketball wise, I'm very humbled to be the basketball coach there. I've been there for 10 years now, 2 years as an assistant, and I'm going to my 8th as a head coach. In the early years, it was a little rough to start a program over, but now you kind of see the culture we develop, and it's daily. You work on the guys daily, mentally, physically. It's not easy, but we accept the challenge daily.
Coach, you guys are off to a 4-1 start. Can you highlight some of your players that have been contributors on the floor and in leadership roles?
I mean, obviously we have Mark Armstrong. He's probably one of the best players in the country. He's committed to Villanova. He's had it since he was a freshman. His dad went to St. Peter's Prep. His mom went to St. Dom's, and she was a cheerleader for St. Peter's Prep. So that's how you kind of, that's how he joined us. He wanted to be part of the culture, and he's actually played very well since he was a freshman. Hopefully he's able to break the scoring record at St. Peter's, which is almost 1,700. So he's about 420 points away. So every game matters. I think he took a hit in the pandemic last year because he only got to play like 11 games. but he's a great player. We also have Jackson Tyndall, rising junior. He's playing very well for us. He's probably averaging double double, about 6'6", 6'7". He's coming around very well. Program player. He's been with us since he was a freshman as well. We have Matt Kinsler, about 6'7" junior. Lefty, very crafty. He's been doing some good stuff for us. Then we have Tyler Langman. He's a senior. He's about 6'4", good defender. He understands the game well. And our last starter is Zion Fowler, very athletic guard, about 6 foot, plays football. He actually committed to Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago. So,
Wow.
so he's very athletic, tough kid, strong. So those are the 5 starters. And, so far they're doing a good job.
Nice.
Coach, I'll go off script already with this one, but you mentioned, since you've been there with the head coach or even as your assistant, do you guys get a lot of football players that also play basketball, or strictly basketball players?
In the beginning of my career as a coach, as a head coach, we started from scratch. So the head coach, he resigned, and once he resigned, everybody transferred out. Like 8 players transferred out. So I was literally left with a JV team. And it was going to be a lot of work. And unfortunately, but fortunately, my best players were football players. So we had about, I think out of 5 starters, 3 of them were football players for about 3-4 years. And then, slowly but surely, we had some guys that came over just play basketball, but we had some really good football players. We had Shane Simon. He was an All-American as a senior in high school. He went to Notre Dame. We had George Puerto Real. He was the starter for 2 years. He went to Lehigh. We had Mark Walker. He came over once St. Anthony's closed for 1 year. He went to Navy. So we had some guys that were really good. And obviously we have Zion. He's coming into Pitt as a junior. So we'll take a guy that plays football.
There you go. Coach, can you describe your style of play, especially for someone who hasn't seen St. Peter's basketball play? How would you describe your guys' style of play?
I mean, I think for us, defense is first. We're very aggressive. We like to change defenses, whether it's a 1-2-2 or 2-2-1, trap, first pass, so blitz pick and rolls. A lot of our players are sometimes very passive, and they come from passive environments, and we need to change that for them mentally a little bit. So we kind of like in-your-face type of team defensively. At least we try to. Trap a lot, just try to make the game up to our speed, very physical. When we play that way, we're very hard to beat, and we compete with a lot of teams in the state once we play aggressive and our type of defense.
We like that. Our favorite saying this house is, of course, defense wins championship. So sounds good to us,
Definitely.
Coach.
Defense and rebounds, yeah.
Coach, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your coaching influences, right? You have international coaching experience with the Dominican Republic national team. You have collegiate coaching and playing experience. And you're in Jersey City where, Bobby Hurley is the icon of St. Anthony's basketball. So I just, you've been exposed to so many coaches and styles. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit who's influenced you to be the coach that you've become.
I mean, it's a mixture, but first and foremost, when I first started playing basketball, I started playing basketball in the Boys Club, Jersey City Boys Club in downtown Jersey City. And it was a guy by the name Gary Greenberg. He ran leagues over there, and I'm playing for Hudson Gardens back then. And he pulled me to the side and said, "Hey, I want you to play for the All-Star team. She'll come tomorrow." And then I showed up to the gym tomorrow, and here I am with Donald Copeland Sr., playing for his team, AU team. And I was 12, and I've never seen anything like it. Donald Copeland Sr. was a lieutenant on the court, and I'm a young man. I didn't know what was going on. I just kind of just kept my mouth shut and listened and just did what he told us to do. But it was a tough regimen, uh, and it stuck to me. And he's one of the reasons why I'm coaching today. And so, sometimes I tell him like, this is your fault. I'm coaching. And here like stressing out for stuff. And he just laughs and he says, just enjoy it. It's a lot different from when you had us.
Yeah.
Because he was hands on. We ran. We just yes coach, no coach. But he's the biggest influence. And then after that, Charlie Brown from NJCU, Coach Brown he's like a father figure to me. And as soon as I started playing college basketball for him, by my sophomore year, junior year, like I knew I was going to be a coach. So he allowed me to run the offense with a groove. Basically like, Alex, just go over there with the starting five and just run everything. And I made sure we ran it the right way. So I was already like a player coach by my senior year. And then after I finished NJCU, I started coaching right away with his son, Mark Brown, at NJCU. So that was my first coaching job after my senior year.
Nice. It's awesome. Coach, we actually had Coach Gassion from St. Mary's, and as former coaches, we always like to let the coaches, we ask the coaches this question to, sell the school a little bit. And so if there was a student, looking a possible, hey, I might want to go to St. Peter's Prep, I might want to play basketball for Coach, what would you tell them if there's a student out there that may be interested in St. Peter's Prep?
I mean, sometimes the things that they don't want to hear for us is important. We tell them this is going to be the hardest thing you're going to do in 4 years. We don't promise anything as far as like playing time, things of that nature. And it's basically you have to earn everything. I know it sounds cliche, but really obey by it. And I think once, it's like a little slogan in St. Peter's Prep that we say, like, they come in as kids and they go out as young men. And to be honest with you, that's what happens. They come in as kids, and 4 years later, they're young men and able to take on the world. So our biggest thing is to be able to develop young men to become responsible men in society and be useful and be productive and have a job and be a good husband, father, and that's what we really focuses on, to be honest with you. And the school itself does a great job with that. So we're just there to kind of support what the school do and make sure, they have structure and practice and things of that nature. And we don't want to make it easy on them. Some of them have to commute. Some of them have homework. So they have a lot on their plates, but they'll become men once they leave the school.
That's so important. I mean, life lessons through sports, 100%. Coach, I have a quick question. I'm going to go off script now for a second, because before you came on, we were talking a little bit about the challenges of this season, right? Specifically due to like COVID, I guess, and shutdowns, unexpected shutdowns of teams, right? So if I'm not mistaken, I saw you posting recently on Twitter about like looking for games. How has that been for you this season? Like, have you picked up a last minute opponent to replace someone?
Sure.
How has that been?
I mean, last year was more challenging. Last year was the first time everybody's going through something like this.
Mm-hmm.
So coming to this year, we kind of understand who to call, who would play who.
Mm-hmm.
But we actually had an opponent Sunday cancel, and we had to play another team. We were supposed to play Cardinal Hayes.
Oh, okay.
And something happened with COVID protocols that didn't meet for the showcase game. And then we had to play Blair Academy. So we really prepared for Cardinal Hayes for about 2 to 3 days to go off with Blair. So it was tough because, one day to get ready is hard, especially a team like that. They have a kid named Otego, he's on Oklahoma. and they have some post-grad players.
Yep.
So you're already coming to the game undersized, they're strong, and they practice all year around. So, but we competed, even though it's about 7, and this is a good game to learn from. But you just never know. We're supposed to play Lincoln High School yesterday, but they had a 2-week shutdown, so now we have to play them Wednesday, and then we play Wednesday and Thursday back to back.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
everything's unexpected. You
Yeah.
don't have time to prepare. You just have to really trust the things that you do and just compete and just go with the flow.
But like you said, Coach, I mean, I can't even imagine, like you're saying, last year was probably even 100 times worse, and now you guys are a little used to it. I mean, still not, the best thing to do, but I couldn't even imagine, like you're saying, like how it even was last year. But I just think it's awesome. Like, we had some even football coaches during the football season, and they were like, listen, I coach football, and it's like you're doing films for 7 days on this, and they were like, listen, it's either we play, we don't have a game, or we watch film for 2 days. So it's better than not playing. So
Yeah.
so.
Coach, I have one more question for you. I was wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about your goals with your team for the rest of the remaining season.
I mean, we just want to get better every day and make sure our attitude as a team and the things that we obey by and stand for, always are there. And once you do that, then you make progress, and then you let kind of the team run itself after a while. Well, you have to be hard on that. And like you said, it's been hard because of COVID. So you practice a lot more than what you're supposed to, and then you just never know when you get another game. So sometimes the guys are kind of just waiting to see if we're going to play. Tomorrow we could cancel. We never know. So we just want them to understand that, just keep the culture going and have a great attitude, because we get the opportunity to play the game that we love. So that's one of the things that we want to speak to them about daily, just to be thankful that you're playing basketball.
It's funny. I feel like we talked about this last year too. Some kids, especially the spring sports, right, from 2 years ago that missed their entire season. But that even though you're kind of going through these hiccups this year, it has, I'm sure, reinforced that. Yep. You know what though? At least we're playing, right? It's a reminder, like you said, of let's be thankful for this opportunity we get every day to play the sport that we love. So that's great. Thank you for sharing that, Coach. We're gonna roll into a little segment we like to call rapid fires. We're going to give you some more kind of quick questions. Sound good?
Yes.
All right, here we go. So, of course, Coach, besides your gym, what's your favorite high school gym to play in?
My favorite high school gym to play in, Hudson Catholic.
Okay.
And what was your biggest coaching win to date?
We won a county 2 years ago against Marist at county finals. That was probably the biggest win for me as a coach.
Nice.
Okay. Who's your biggest rival at St. Peter's?
Hudson Catholic. This goes back 100 years.
That's awesome. All right, Nike, Under Armour, or Adidas? Which brand is your favorite?
Adidas.
Coach, your favorite NBA team?
Golden State Warriors.
Oh, okay, so I'll say this. With Clay back now, can they win it all this year?
It's going to be hard. I feel like right now they're playing well, but it's going to be extremely hard once Phoenix and them other teams come into play. Hold on, baby. My daughter.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I'm in an interview.
Oh, I love it. Very nice.
And you got one more,
I
right,
got
Coach?
one more for you, Coach. Then we'll let you get back to your dad duties. Your favorite NCAA team?
A tough one. I have a few. I really like Baylor, Villanova, and Michigan. Those guys.
Nice.
I love them.
And are you picking any of them to win March Madness this year?
I think Baylor, man. I think Baylor's pretty good. They're very good.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Thank you so much for your time this evening. We really appreciate it. We know how busy you are. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Coach.
And good luck this
Good luck
season.
this year.
We'll keep in
Thank
touch.
you. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, it's Coach St. Peter's Prep. It's we have Coach Gassion last week. With a small, but you know what? Same message, same. Like that same family. And I was going to talk to him. I worked with a good friend of mine. We worked together in Kearney. He left. He became an administrator, but he was also like a baseball coach, football coach, and he went to St. Peter's Prep. Very good player there, and you could just tell that every time we would talk, he would just have that family atmosphere. If there was a football game, we all got to go. Me and my friends are going to the big state playoff game and stuff like that. So with baseball, with football, so you could tell they have that kind of like, what's the word?
Camaraderie.
Camaraderie, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Sister's saying Jen's so thin I can't see her. So Sis getting in the action. Well, what do you think with Coach?
Well, you know what? Again, and we see this with all of most of the coaches that we have on, right? Like how, it wasn't about his goals, weren't about like winning sectional titles or, county titles. It was about getting better every day, helping his boys become men when they leave the program. And, as much as, listen, we know Coach wants to win.
Yeah, of course.
And, but to see, when you have a coach who wants to put in the work and reap the benefits, right? That when you do put in the work, good things will come. But also wants to see that his players, develop into, the men. And you know what? It's so he talked about the alumni. That's another thing with some of these schools with these programs. That they stay connected to the programs.
Yeah, and like I said,
well.
again, I've seen it. I'm not going to say it's not like that in public schools because it is,
of course,
but I think like sometimes you just see like, especially there, we went with St. Mary's, we dealt with the Bergens and the Boscos, and we haven't. It's just, I don't know, it's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, you see how we had Coach Sheridan on and how many people came back from years ago to talk about him, and remember like it was yesterday, and you're talking about 20 years ago. So Mark Calderio, good evening, guys. How are you doing? Just saying, Mark Jr. won again. He pinned his kid. His record 6-2.
Very nice.
Awesome, Mark.
Thank you for the update, and we'll definitely have to reach out to
get a little fair one wrestling.
Yeah,
in.
Absolutely. I lost my train of thought of what I was going to say there about. I wanted to again thank Coach because, we have, just to give our, we were both coaches. It is a time commitment, and it was funny. He was talking about how, he said he blamed his first AAU coach there. You're to blame for this,
Yeah.
You didn't tell me it was going to be like this where you're stressing about things. So, coaches don't just coach on the court. I mean, they're taking that home with them. And here's a coach at, 8:30 at night, taking time for his program,
family, right.
Here, I was just going to say, there's his daughters in the background. He's a father first. And even our next guest, we have the Verona girls basketball team joining us. We're just waiting for a couple more people in the waiting room before we let them in, and he's out scouting. Here it is again, 8:30, and he's at a game, and making sure, not saying I can't make it, guys, because I have to scouting, and then joining us. And again, the commitment to their programs is really,
Mr. Kirkpatrick is saying later on he said he didn't have one today, but he went off script. He said he'll have to find the fake high school for both of us later. So yeah, he can send that over.
Sounds good.
So again, getting back to what I asked you before, I did on a freshman level, freshman girls basketball, but you did more of the varsity level with the basketball. So, anything else you wanted to add, what you think would be where it would throw you off as a coach of what could possibly go on now.
Well, basketball was, specifically, like you said, like here, I didn't realize that their game against Blair, they were in a tournament in New York that they played Blair Academy with the postgraduates. But, he prepared for a different team. And just like in football, like in field hockey and lacrosse, it's maybe not as big a deal. But in basketball, if you know a team, full court presses or they play like, man-to-man defense, you're making sure all your man plays are working. And then you play a team that they play a 1-3-1 trapping zone, so
right.
Listen, do you think you've prepared your team for anything? Of
That's
course,
that's
but
my point.
But you're focusing on specifics
right.
from your scouting
But that's
report,
my
so.
question where, like you're saying, what else could a team, they're going to play man, they're going to play a 2-3 zone, they're going to play a 3-2 zone, they're going to, they're going to press, they're not going to press. So, like you're saying, you would love to say, hey, girls, or, this is the scouting report, this is what we think they're going to do,
right.
as opposed to saying, we don't know what they're going to do.
Right.
But, but the football thing, like we said, I mean, it's just, you have no idea, when those coaches said they did that in 2 days, and the same thing with basketball, you got to give these coaches credit because they want to play, and these kids want to play. So it's not about. At the
end of the day, it's better, like you were saying before, like let's get a game in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Win or lose at this point, like let's play.
Absolutely.
All right, we have all of our guests ready to join us, so I'm going to let them all in right now.
Okay.
So once they're in, I will again introduce everybody. We're just going to get everyone in here.
Hello.
All right. Hello. I see Emily. Hi, Emily. Welcome to the program. We're just going to give everybody the second to get in. And I see Lauren as well. And Coach, can you hear us, Coach?
I got you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
yes.
Perfect. Absolutely. So welcome,
Awesome.
guys. Let me introduce all of you to our audience. We are joined by Verona girls basketball coach Brian Dorflaufer. Coach is Coach Dorf. How can I refer to you as Coach Dorf? Is that okay?
Brian's fine. Brian,
Okay.
Coach Dorf, whatever works. Whatever works.
We're so formal. We call everybody Coach on the show. And he has brought with him his two captains, senior Lauren Kobernick and junior Emily Baumgard. Girls, did I say your names correctly?
Yeah, you said it right.
Okay. And Lauren, how did I do on your last name?
Kobernick, but you're fine.
Okay, thank you. I'm usually pretty good. Sorry about that. Thank you for the polite correction. Guys, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having us. It's an honor to be on your program.
Coach, I just, prior to the show and in our little break between our St. Peter's guest and you guys, I was saying how, we have our next guest coming on who had practice today. He's scouting, but he's still making the time to join us. And, we just really want to thank you because we know how busy you are. So it's our pleasure to have you.
Oh, no worries at all. Like I said, it's an honor to be here. We really appreciate you guys inviting us on, and thanks for giving us a few minutes.
Coach, thank you again. Thank you guys for coming on. Coach, I'll start with you. First year at the helm at Verona. Can you give us your short and your long-term goals for the Verona girls basketball program?
Short-term goals and long-term goals, not too different. Short-term and long-term, obviously we want to see the success of our girls on and off the court. We want them to succeed in the classroom, in the community, and then excel on the court as well. That goes for short-term and long-term. But obviously we want to win some games. That's the ultimate goal. That's why we play competition. That's why we play the games. Right now we did have a game today. We played a really tough, really scrappy Glen Ridge team. Wasn't an offensive outburst in the slightest. It was a 26-18 game. So it was a defensive battle. But Glen Ridge did come away with it. But we did have a great fight. Our defense was incredible all day. And then we just really started the season off a break too. That wasn't ideal, but everyone's dealing with the same COVID issues right now, all around the state and all around the country.
Real quick comment from our really good friend Matt Staffiero from the Rocky Mountain Sports Report out there in Colorado. Keep up the great work. I appreciate your dedication to cover the high school level. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Matt.
Thank you, and thank you for watching. Girls, Coach just talked a little bit about the goals that he has for you guys. So my question is to you, kind of piggybacking off of that a little bit, right? Last year, you guys come off like a shortened season, right? But at least you get to play. This season, you get, start off. I think you had a little delay to your start, if I'm not mistaken, right? But then you get 2 wins under your belt. So, like, just given all of these circumstances, right? Like, how psyched is the team to just get out and start to accomplish these goals that coach has set forth for you guys? Lauren, maybe you want to start, and then Emily?
Like Coach Ryan said, thank you so much for having us. But okay, so last year was a shortened year. We were all like so upset, like the seniors left, and like we had just a lot of things left unsaid, like we never got to find a good one. This year, like I think our main thing was like enjoying it while we have it. Like we know now, like Florida's not promised. We got shut down after our first game. The girls got covered and kept going. This year I think we're missing something. Having that chemistry and like bringing up our energy, and fighting through every game, and like our energy and effort. Like, we're gonna like give it our all, and like I think that's why we're so excited. Like I said, like my senior year, like my last year playing with Emily, like, we were little, so it's like we're kind of like putting in everything, and like we're going out with every game.
Very nice. How about you, Emily? Anything to add?
Yeah, so the team is very close, so I think that's one thing that makes us all very excited to play and go to practice every day. And I think that the main thing that we really just want to accomplish this season is to just get some wins, because from our previous seasons, we've struggled a lot, and so I think that this season we just really want to overcome that.
Nice. Now, you had mentioned, Lauren, that you and Emily, you're a senior and it was your last year playing with Emily, and you guys have been playing together since you were little, right? I mean, that's so you guys go through. Now, is most of your team like played together through? I mean, obviously maybe some kids moved to town, but Verona, you guys go. It's a K through 12 district, right? So is that part of the reason you guys feel like you're so close?
So me and Emily, we played together since we were probably like, I don't know, maybe like 11. We played like 7th grade, and then like so on. We moved from together, together. So we've especially like had a lot of chemistry together, and like we personally have got so many opportunities to play together. And that goes for everyone. Like everyone, like on this, we're all so close. We're all like so friendly. Like not just on the team, but like on the team. Like we all have the same personalities. Like we all have the same goals together. That's what like is building like our team chemistry. Out, like not even just basketball related, but it's also like we all play other sports together, so like everyone's ready, like so close from that.
Very nice.
We got a comment from Dr. John Taylor. Coach might like this one. He says, we played Glen Ridge last week. It was 30-24, but a side note, Hillbillies are one of my favorite schools to play. They do everything right, and I've never had a bad experience with their coaches, players, or administrators in any sports. That's Dr. John Taylor, athletic director at Irvington.
Very nice, very nice.
Well, thank Mr. Taylor for us. That's a really, really nice comment. We appreciate everything that the Blue Knights do for us as well.
Thank you, Coach. All right, girls, I'll come back to you for this one. Jen, you can start and figure out like who wants to go first. But my question is, what's the meaning of what does it mean to play? I'm saying for you guys for basketball, but just what does it mean to play for Verona High School?
Emily, why don't you start us this time?
We're all from Verona, and so our community is just very small. So I think that we know that like our town is always watching us. It's just so small that what we do, like we're high schoolers playing, so we know that like the girls playing basketball in middle school and the girls in all the elementary schools are looking up to us. And I think that just that leadership role and just inspiring them is very important, and that keeps us going.
Very nice. How about you, Lauren?
So I feel like for girls basketball, I feel like there's a lot of other sports that a lot of people like prioritize, and like I feel like Verona's been known as like a football community for years. So I feel like for us, it's like making something out of ourselves, like giving us a title that other people like want to remember. Like my freshman year, we were like conference champs, and then we were holiday tournament champs, and like it was like so awesome to see like the whole community like coming to support us. And like you truly do realize like how many people like I'll just see walking around, they're like, oh hey, like, and then they come up to me and like, oh, like you're Lauren, right? Like you just played. I'm like, yeah, like I don't know you, but like thank you for coming to support us, and like I really appreciate it. So I think like it's so nice to play in a town like so small. Like yeah, you don't have as many players, like you don't have like a big enough scout team, like everyone makes a team and stuff. But I think it's really great that like it's like it becomes a community thing and everyone knows each other, everyone plays well together. So I think that's what makes it really special.
Awesome. Really nice. Coach, can you speak to a little bit about your team? First, about Lauren and Emily as captains, and then can you highlight some of the other players that are having an impact for you this season?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll start with Laura. Lauren's a senior. Unfortunately, right now for us, Lauren is out for a couple of weeks with an injury. But Lauren, prior to her injury, she was awesome. She was in our starting five. She was one of our forwards. Basically, whatever you ask Lauren to do, Lauren will do it. As simple as that. She was second in our team on rebounds up until her injury, and she was averaging 6 points a game. So she will be, the next few weeks will be huge with her out, but we have the next man up mentality. And as far as Emily, we go as Emily goes. Emily is our point guard. Emily has been awesome for us all year too. She leads us in scoring this year, and also is second in the team in assists. And then following Emily and Lauren, we have to round out the starters. We have Bridget Longsinger, who's also a phenomenal three-sport athlete. She also plays soccer and lacrosse. We have Brooke Reinecker, and then also we have freshman Callie Giacomazzo. So that's the starting five. Also, we have Julia Loudon, who comes off the bench for us. Sabine Matei has been great for us the last two games. She's given us 10 and 10. And she's also led the team in rebounds. And unfortunately, right now we are missing one of our other senior key pieces in Natalie DeLon. She'll be back in about a week or so. So it's been a fun year. It's been a really, really fun year. I have a great group, really, really phenomenal group, like the girls were saying. We're really close knit. They enjoy playing together, which is the biggest thing, because they want to come to work. They want to work not only for themselves but for each other, and that makes my job 1,000 times easier.
Very nice.
Another comment from Dr. John Taylor. Maybe within Verona, people view football as the focus of the community. But believe me, in Essex County, Verona is competitive in everything they do. When any team, including girls basketball, see Verona on our schedule, we all know we are in for a long night.
Very nice. You're up to
That's a great comment.
Coach, I'll go back to you. Can you go over your style of play and the mentality you guys when you take the court? What's your mentality?
Definitely a defensive-minded team, first and foremost, and I think that reflects in most of our scores. We've played most of our games up until this point in the high 20s, low 30s. So we're defensive-minded. We definitely get our work done on that end, and we truly believe that defense leads to offense, creating turnovers, creating transition points. And then with that, what was this? I'm sorry, what was the second part of your question?
Style of play and mentality.
Just a physical style of play. However, we can really make the game, we can create physicality within the game, within offense or defense. We definitely like to crash the boards. We hit home on that almost every practice, every game. Just driving home to really crash the offensive boards and defensive boards, as well as playing within our offense. But offensively, we want to create a style with space and pace. And that's really it.
I'll tell you this, if Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau was listening, he'd be giving the thumbs up to coach on that one, I'll tell you that.
100%. Girls, I'm going to end with you guys before we get into some rapid fire with everybody again. So I have like a two-part question. So my first question is, who's the biggest rival you have on your schedule that you look forward to each year? Lauren, let's start with you this time.
Cedar Grove has been our rival for years. So every year we've played them in hoops for hope. And like last year we played them and we just like our mindset was not there. Like we got so psyched out and we did not play our best. So like we're super excited to play them February 22nd of this
Got
year.
it marked on the
Yeah,
calendar.
you got that
Love
marked
it.
down. You know what day that is.
We are so ready. So yeah, we're gonna come out ready to play. We also play Mount St. Dominic on Friday, and that's a huge game for a lot of us because one of our freshmen, she was coached by her for like years, and we also know like some of the girls on the other team. So, and we also played with the girls too, and we know how talented they are. So that would be a super exciting game.
Nice. How about you, Emily?
Yeah, Mount St. Dominic and Cedar Grove, definitely. Like what Lauren was saying, our Cedar Grove game last year was just, we did not play our best at all. And I think that's one of the main things that's really driving us to really want to win this game.
You know what? I have, you guys mentioned your holiday tournament. I'm a West Essex graduate, so I played at West Essex. So it's so funny to have, whenever we have like Verona or Cedar Grove guests on and we ask about like rivalries and stuff, it's always Verona, Cedar Grove, and it's always West Essex, Caldwell, and then all four of those teams come together, like the upper Bloomfield, the lower Bloomfield. So I love hearing that it's
great.
still alive. It's awesome. So my second part, girls, and this time Emily, will start with you. What's your best Verona basketball memory to date?
My best memory? So my freshman year, this might have been my first game ever playing varsity, or it might have been my second. It was actually during the holiday tournament against Cedar Grove, and this wasn't the championship, it was just the first game. And we were able to win that game, and it really showed me how exciting the game was and how like happy I was to be a part of that team.
That's great. Nice memory. Very nice. Lauren, how about you?
So my most recent memory is, okay, so first, my first probably like most memorable moment is freshman year when I made varsity, and I remember like all the older girls, like they were just like, you're gonna do so good, and like it was so nice to like they have my back. But then like even like this whole year, like there was the other day of practice where like me and like this other girl, Natalie, we were playing like defense and stuff, and then like me and her were guarding each other, and like usually we play with each other in the same team, and like we just like couldn't stop laughing, and then she like picked me up at a point so like I wouldn't get by her and just like threw me to the side. And like I think it's like the little moments like that, like you don't realize like it's like so sad to think like I won't have this next year, and like it's like all the little things like to just cherish it. And even like we go out to eat and stuff after games, and like tonight we got like ice cream and stuff, and it's just like all like the little moments like you don't like realize like how much like they mean to you, but then like next year they won't have them. So I guess it's like, I don't know, like every day we always make the most out of every day. So
Very nice. All right, we're going to roll into a little segment we call Rapid Fire. These are a little more quick-paced questions for you guys. So maybe we'll do, like, how about Coach and then Lauren and then Emily as our order, okay? All right, go ahead.
All right, first question. What is the best pizza in Verona?
You're at me?
Yep,
You're
Coach, you're up
You're
first.
up
Yep.
first, Coach.
You're asking the new guy?
Yes.
I am.
All right. A lot of pressure. That's a loaded question. I'm gonna go. Are we saying like regular plain slice or like specialty slice? I'm a very peculiar.
Plain slice, because I'm the pickiest eater you'll ever meet. So plain slice.
All right. I'm just gonna say Anthony Franco's. I don't know how that answer is gonna go over, but I'm gonna say Anthony Franco's.
Okay.
That's definitely pizza carbonara.
I think my favorite is Lugo.
All right. My next one is also food related. We're gonna keep in the bad food here. So your choice, if you had to choose, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, or Chick-fil-A.
Oh, Chick-fil-A, without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Chick-fil-A's been like running away with that one recently. Yeah, that ran the board tonight. Okay.
Okay, so pregame workout, pregame warm-ups in your gym. Well, we'll say it's in your gym. You get to pick one song to be playing during warm-ups. What would that one song be?
Avicii, Heart Upon a Sleeve.
Ooh, Lauren, you were still muted, I think.
Turn Off the Music by Chris Brown.
Memories by Kid Cudi.
All right. Favorite drill to do at practice, followed by your least favorite drill to do at practice. Coach, you get to give us the coaching perspective.
I cannot wait to hear Lauren and Emily's answer for this. Cannot wait to hear Lauren and Emily's answer for this. My favorite drill, probably expansion, as the girls know, since they met me. Since our summer workouts, we've done this drill, and we usually incorporate it somehow into our practices. So my favorite drill is probably expansion drill. Least favorite drill, I'm a coach, so I don't know if I do have a least favorite drill. I'm sorry to say.
That's all right. That's a good answer, Coach.
Yeah, I agree. I have to agree with that. Expansion drill is definitely a favorite because we're always running. And then our least favorite, all right, Coach, probably like 4-line passing is kind of boring.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yikes. Thanks, Laura.
My favorite is 3-on-2, 2-on-1. And then my least favorite is probably the zigzag drill.
Oh, the defense up and back. That one? Yeah, that's brutal.
And my last one, whether it's a college player, WNBA, or NBA, who is your favorite basketball player of all time?
Of all time, Tim Duncan.
Nice, good answer.
Paige, I think it's Buckert. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. She's from UConn, but I like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say her too.
Nice. All right, and I'm gonna go with NCAA again, women's or men's. Your favorite NCAA basketball team?
Wherever John Calipari's coaching.
There it is.
Probably like the Lakers.
I like UConn women's basketball.
Nice. All right. Guys, thank you so much for joining us again. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule, and we want to wish you the best of luck the rest of the season.
We really appreciate, I'll let Lauren and Em jump in and say their thank yous after, but we just really greatly appreciate you having us all on, really representing Verona, the program, the community, and we wish you guys a happy basketball season, and if you do this in the spring as well, have a great spring season as well.
Absolutely, and we'd love to do something more with you later on during this during the season.
Thank you for having us. It's a great opportunity.
Yes, thank you so much.
No problem.
No problem,
Thanks,
girls.
guys.
Thank you and good luck.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Be well. Have
You
a good
too.
one.
Thank you.
Okay, so a little Verona girls basketball.
Yep.
And again, you could just tell how, what it means, and it's awesome. Listen, we knew it, we played, we coached, but then you still hear these players how they're saying go out for ice cream, go out to eat, and it's gonna be gone, and it's it goes quick. I mean, that's the one sad part, it really does. We could sit there and remember as a player, and listen, we could talk about sophomore year, junior. I remember that, and you remember it.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
You remember it, and you're like, oh my god, So great to hear that. That's what those players are about.
Love having the coaches on, of course, and we love having the players come with them, and it's so nice to get their perspective as well. And I think Lauren really hit on when you asked her favorite Verona basketball memory, and it wasn't necessarily one thing.
No,
she was saying it was all those little things, and she's a senior, and it's her last basketball season, and she's a 4-year varsity player, so she has an understanding that maybe you don't get to until you're in that position. So she's just all those little things that she's going to miss, not necessarily one big thing.
I mean, I do remember. I know they kept bringing up the Cedar Grove thing, but I remember I went to one Verona Cedar Grove football game, and it was just it's amazing when Garfield Lodi, Heights in this team, and it's it's all over.
Exactly.
You get that rivalry where it is.
We were,
Ramapo, Wayne Hills. I mean,
growing up in the area,
Irvington versus everybody.
We had the Cedar Grove football coach on a few weeks ago, right? And asked him biggest rival, and he's like, Like
It
without
is.
hesitation,
I know.
Verona. The Verona kids without hesitation, Cedar Grove. You know, they're two small towns right next to each other.
You know the
they know each
kids.
other
Yeah.
exactly. So it's so again, it's nice to see that those rivalries don't die. You know, so all right. Does Kenny
Kenny's
have
ready
his
for the challenge,
for
so
us?
here
All
we
right,
go.
Let's hear it. What's he gonna give us? How many?
I don't know. That made my night.
everybody Irvington and against
Irvington
everybody.
versus everybody. That's the rivalry. Listen, Irvington had the schedule. They're in the SEC.
All right, we're waiting on 4 teams.
Okay, 4 teams are real. 1 is fake.
Okay.
I want the fake team.
Okay.
Here we go.
Polka dots.
The polka dots. Team number 2.
The delay, the pause.
We're waiting on Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Our fault. We didn't get them ahead
Well, he
of
probably
time
doesn't-
tonight.
The Frost Polar Bears.
Polka dots and frost polar bears so far.
Okay.
Polo Marcos?
The Polo Marcos. I wonder if he spelt that. He said that wrong. This is Kenny, guys. This is Kenny.
Oh, Dr. John saying the Super Football Conference schedule.
Ah!
All right, so see what that looks like again.
We should do a live show like the NFL does a live show. Set it up, Dr. John.
So we got the polka dots, the frost polar bears,
The
Polo
Polos Marcos.
I think he might be doing his research right now.
Yeah. I don't think he's got the 2 other teams.
On the fly.
Yeah. He's probably, the Roses Pizzas or something he's going to come out with. Well, that's pumped up. January 20th. That's right. It's next week. Right?
Yeah,
Next Thursday?
A week from Thursday.
A week from
Yeah,
Thursday.
A week from Thursday.
Mr. Kirkpatrick was still waiting for 2 more teams. He said he's giving us 5, right?
Right, yeah.
Team 4. Key West Lemon and Lime Heads Girls or Lemons. I don't get that.
Key West Lemon and Lime heads. Oh, I guess the girls are the lemons, the boys are the limes. I don't know. I'm not sure. And number
5,
5,
Williamsport Millionaires.
So 4 are real and 1 is fake.
Okay, I will circle my fake team.
Okay. I can't even see them. Don't circle yours. Just keep yours in your head because I need to see them.
You go first and you pick your fake team.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the fake team is Polo Marcos.
By the way, if it's Marco's Polo, Kenny's in trouble.
All right. Just what's yours?
Mine is going to be
Pick one.
the Frost Polar Bears.
Okay.
Are fake.
All right.
So I'm going to go with the Polar Bears. You're going with the Polo Marcos.
Yeah. Now I am gonna say that I was going to pick polka dots number 1 because polka was spelled wrong, but then I was thinking, oh, the town is probably spelled polka, P-O-C-A, but it goes with dots.
So I got Frost Polar Bears and you got Polo Marcos. My second choice was going to be the Millionaires.
You said fake team
is Key West Lemon and Lime Heads.
Okay.
So he got us tonight.
Okay. All right.
He got us. We got to get a segment by the name. We got to get the official name for next week.
Yeah, and have it. We'll put something up and we'll have them ready to go. All right.
Big shout out St. Peter's Prep boys
Yep.
basketball,
And
Verona girls basketball. Thank you, Mr. Kirkpatrick, for that. And we will see you guys next week.
Thank you for watching.
Have a good